All right, so I'll just get right into this. We starting with talking about the low-level prognostic chart. So low-level prog charts are generally used to be able to tell if there's any hazards, heavy weather, turbulence, things like that that might be affecting a flight. Because these are low level, they're used a lot more by like general aviation or pilots just flying at low altitudes, private pilots, instrument, things like that, that aren't going up all that high. The altitude for these low level charts go up to about 24,000 feet, and that's where they max up. So it's everything below 24,000 feet that we're seeing. Uh, as we can see here, we can see the date down in this corner of the chart. It says, by the way, there's two charts. There's a 12-hour and a 24. That's what 24 is the one we're seeing on the right and 12 on the left. Very left-hand corner, we can see the dates for these. So we see uh, August 8th of 2024 on Thursday. And then we also see the valid time, how long it's valid for. So this is 12 Zulu on the right, August 9th, 2024, 0 Zulu. All right. So now we're looking at turbulence. We can see here on this left chart that around, what is this, like Georgia and the Carolinas, there's that orange circle that represents turbulence. And there's this little symbol with the 100 below it. That symbol represents like moderate turbulence. And then it shows that it's at 10,000 feet right in that area. On the right, we can also see it similar place, except that turbulence goes up a little bit more into like Virginia and almost touches Kentucky. And there's also some in the northern United States, it looks like at 80,000 feet. Um, so places with a ceiling less than 10,000 feet are displayed by these red circles. We see them kind of all over the US. Those red circles and lines will display IFR areas, places that VFR pilots can't fly into, obviously, because availability is less than 3 miles, and the ceiling is less than 10,000 feet, as it says on the bottom. And those are kind of, especially on the 12-hour chart, positioned all over the place. Freezing levels we can see by these blue lines that stretch across the United States. We're able to see that above mean sea level, it shows the elevation. So here on the side of California, it shows that it's 16,000 feet. Up in northern Idaho, we got 12,000 feet. So it just shows you about how high that's at for the freezing. Thunderstorm activity. Let's see. I'm not really seeing any thunderstorm activity right now. So that should be fine, at least at this elevation. Okay, and then now that we're going to high level prognostic charts, these charts are used a lot more for more like commercial pilots, airliners, and things, because these are generally the elevations they'll be flying at. Uh, they're also used to depict thunderstorms, turbulence, jet streams, and other hazards that airliners might run into at that elevation. These charts are between 25,000 and 63,000 feet. It's the highest chart there is to show you the weather where these guys will be flying. So we can see the date and time here in the right corner. It shows us it's for August 9th, 2024, and it's valid for 0 UTC. To see thunderstorms, with this one, it's actually going to be these red, like cloud-looking circles all over the place. It looks like there's quite a few thunderstorms uh, up here in Canada, all throughout the US and South America, especially like northern South America. Quite a few thunderstorms. We can see the type of clouds as well as in these little like white boxes that point to the thunderstorms. We can see the the level these thunderstorms are at. For example, this one here in like this New Mexico, like this big group around Mexico, New Mexico, Arizona, it points and it says it's 50,000 feet. And then the XXX shows that it's below the chart. So 50,000 feet to anywhere below the 25,000 feet that this chart is good for. So they're pretty big thunderstorms in that area. Turbulence is shown right along these jet streams. We can see some quite a bit here in the south going on in South America. These big yellow circles that circle the jet stream indicate turbulence, and they also have arrows that point. So these two touching South America, it shows that it's a moderate turbulence from about 39 or 27,000 feet to 39,000 feet. And on this turbulence on the left side, we see that it's turbulence from somewhere below the chart, below 25,000 to 40,000 feet. And it's also a moderate turbulence. When we're looking at jet streams, there are these green lines that go across. We can see all these ticks and flags, and that'll indicate speed. And then these two lines will indicate a change in wind by about 20 knots. And these jet streams, get them in the south and then also in the north. You can also see the flight level of them here when it says FL, 42,000 feet. We got 34,000 feet. I'm just looking at these ones across the US. That's how we can see the flight level of them. For tropopauses, we can see these different ones. We got numbers all over in these white boxes. Here up in northern Canada, we got high level tropopause. And then here on the east side of Canada, you can see a low level tropopause right below Greenland. And that's how you see those different tropopauses. Let's see. We got like tropical storms and cyclones. There's one here kind of off of Baja, Mexico. It's called Emilia. You see that just by that little red symbol inside the thunderstorm. That represents the tropical cyclone. Dust storms, I'm not seeing any. If there was, there'd probably be like here in northern Chile around Atacama or maybe in the western US, but I'm not seeing any dust storms. Don't know if they're as common in this part of the world. Volcanoes we do have here in like southern Mexico and slash Guatemala. It looks like there's a volcano. It's that little symbol. There's two over here. They're kind of like beehives that are bursting. Here, two in Ecuador, one down there in Peru, it looks like. I did miss a cyclone here in like the Carolinas. It looks like there's one up there as well. Debbie. They've got their names attached to them as well. But yeah, so these are mostly just for pilots flying at that elevation to stay away from it, especially things like volcanoes can be very dangerous, bring up huge plumes of dust that get caught in the jet streams. So you have to be very careful and watch out. Check for thunderstorms, obviously, and stay very vigilant. So that's why we have these.